30th birthday, TCC. What a wonderful occasion to be celebrating together. I am excited. That is an understatement. I joined TCC in 1997. So it's been an amazing journey. I've journeyed 27 of the 30 years with our church family and seen it go through so many changes, good ones, bad ones, lots of different changes, as we do when we grow from babies to adults. But what a privilege to be able to step into this next important decade with our church family, one that I believe is about expanding our borders, enlarging our tents, increasing in our faith, and essentially growing in our love for Jesus and for our community. In Isaiah 54 verse 2-3, it says this: "The word of the Lord is to enlarge the place of your tent. Let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Do not spare. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes." And the reason for this is in the next part of the verse that says, "For you shall expand to the right and the left, and your descendants will inherit the nation." You know what? I think about Scott and I and the decisions that we made, some of the decisions we've made in our lives, and a decision to buy a bigger house, for example, with more bedrooms, because we wanted to enlarge our family and needed more than one bedroom. And I remember us taking that deep breath as we signed the paperwork for a bigger mortgage. And I remember us taking the same deep breath when we brought Aaron back from hospital and they let us walk out of the hospital with this little person, and they didn't stop us. They didn't, question our parenting ability. And I remember taking the same deep breath when we became a family of 4, working out how to get 2 under 3s in the car at the same time, and how we took them shopping and how we got them to sleep and all of that kind of thing, whilst just in awe of the way that our love stretched for this second little human. And we definitely expanded our borders. We definitely enlarged our tents. We definitely stretched every ounce of ourselves, both financially, personally, relationally, all of those things. But it wasn't just for us to have a better life. That verse in Isaiah says, "For you shall expand to the right and the left, and your descendants will inherit the nation." It wasn't just about us, it was about our family, those 2 little humans who would go on after us. And, I think the stretch of this next season, expanding our borders, enlarging our tents, increasing our faith, isn't just for us. It's about a family that we haven't met yet. It's a family that we will meet and go on to love. It's about an inheritance for those who will go on after us. And I believe that God is saying, as you step into your 30s, TCC, don't pull back on your vision because you think that something seems impossible or too big. "Did I not make a way for you at Main Street?" says the Lord. "Enlarge your faith. Continue to give me your yes every step of the way." Because he says there's no limit to my increase. There's no limit to my provision. There's no limit to my abundance and no limit to my love. You guys know that I love Joshua chapter 1. I've been banging on about it all year, haven't I? But I want to come back to it again, just in this moment, but a different part to what I've spoke about earlier on in the year. And God says to Joshua in this scripture that the size of his borders to conquer are every place that the sole of his feet will tread upon. And what does that tell us? Well, firstly, that there's no limit to the expansion of our spiritual walk with God. We walk with him. We abide in him, like Ness said at the beginning of the year. We bear fruit. we increase in all areas of our spiritual walk. You know, as we increase in our faith, the kingdom increases in us and through us. There's no limit to the increase in the kingdom of God. But I guess the challenge for Joshua and for us was that it had to be according to how far he was willing to go as a believer. And, you know, if God says every place you dare to tread, then that gives you the size that's beyond your present scope, doesn't it? God said, from the wilderness and this Lebanon to the great river Euphrates, there was a huge scope there, more than his present scope. And, you know, I believe in this next season that God will ask us, how far are you willing to go as believers? You know, will we stretch further? And as I was praying about that a little bit, I did a brilliant picture actually. And it was the film clip from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And some of you might have seen it and know the one where he's faced with this huge chasm. He's underground in this underground kind of cave system, and he gets to this huge chasm, and he can't get across. And he has to take a leap of faith. And in this film clip, he looks out and says, it's impossible. No one can jump this. And then he realizes what it is. And he says, it's a leap of faith. And his father, who's played by Sean Connery, is in the background, and he's saying, you must believe, boy. And he didn't know I could do impressions, did you, church? But he takes this step. He takes this step into the chasm, where in the natural it looks like sudden death if he's to take this step. But he takes this leap of faith, he steps out, and then a bridge materializes under his feet, and he's able to walk across this chasm to the other side. And I just sense that stepping into our 30s may look a little bit like this scene. Maybe financially, maybe provisionally, maybe relationally, maybe, there's so many different ways. But I also sense the Lord saying, for every step of faith you take, there will be a bridge under your feet as you cross, one that you can't see until you believe and you take that first step. But just as God said to Joshua in that scripture, chapter 1 verse 5, he says the same thing to us. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. You know, we can have total confidence that God's in this to win, church. He's in this to win, and that his win is with us and through us. So from generation to generation, God has been expanding his church, and our borders, how far we're willing to go with him, how far we're willing to say yes, how far we're willing to increase our faith, be stretched in our faith, is part of that great expansion. So let's go for it, church. Let's channel our inner Indiana Joneses, and let's take those leaps of faith with God in our 30s, and in doing so, expand the borders of what we know is possible only with him. So I raise my glass to you and I say, happy birthday, TCC. I'm getting emotional at the end. I've done really well on this video and now I'm getting emotional. But here's to all that we can't see yet. But essentially, here's to him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Happy birthday. Cheers.